Welcome back. If Sunday lunch hasn't hit your table yet, this is going to make you salivate even more, because Neil Phillips, aka the Wine Tipster, joins me now, and I'm already getting hungry and thirsty. Neil, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nick. Great to be on. I've got something nice here for Dave. You know, you'd be a bit jealous, I think.
It's a magnificent selection you've got behind you, but what's in the glass?
I've got some Moet Rosé here. Come on, we've had some fantastic weather. It's 1:45. It's time for a glass of champagne. And I've got these blinis here as well, just to sort of go and pair nicely with the Moet Rosé, really.
You are keeping a smile on your face, and I'm sure doing all this sort of work remotely at the moment, but it's been an impossibly difficult time for the hospitality industry, perhaps more than any other as things stand. How are you and your colleagues getting through it at the moment?
Oh, come on, yes, it's certainly been tough, Nick. I've discovered the world of virtual presenting, as you can see with the bar behind me. So that has been good in terms of education, bringing everybody together as well in terms of groups of people who are normally working in hospitality and racing. And I think, importantly, you've had some great content over the last few weeks covering lots of different areas of racing. It's brilliant what's happened with racing welfare. The furlong factor was fantastic. Obviously, Helen Eden on last week with Greatwood, but hospitality has been hit hard. And all those people that would normally be working full-time in racing, as well as on a temporary basis, have been hit hard here for sure. But we are doing great things behind the scenes to keep everybody motivated. And that's the important thing. And we're looking forward to racing coming back. You know, as a step one, let's get racing, follow all the protocols, and then gradually we can start to look at hospitality again in racing.
Because if we just take Royal Ascot as one example, the hospitality endeavour there is absolutely massive. You know, you always get those press releases every year. Yeah, this many bottles of champagne, this many sandwiches, this many lunches, this many cream cakes, and so on and so forth. But the amount of staff, both full-time and part-time, and shift workers, casual staff, it's a huge workforce that are going to suffer here.
Yes, I mean, you've got something like 6,500 people working at Royal Ascot. I mean, I think it's something to realise about the scale, but also to think about the suppliers as well. You know, all that preparation. We've talked about this, the company that produced all the strawberries for Wimbledon, normally, that produce. Who's going to buy that? So all of those factors, and I was actually talking to Michel Roux Jr. earlier this week, because he and Albert would have been at Newmarket for the 2,000 guineas, down at the Derby for the Investec Derby. You know, they have 1,000 people each day working at the course in catering on those 2 days. So big challenges there. It's going to be interesting, Nick, to see in terms of the general side of hospitality. Obviously, we've had the announcement that potentially we might see some alfresco dining from July the 4th. Then with restaurants coming on maybe a couple of weeks after that. You know, Michel Roux Jr. was telling me earlier in the week, you know, he's already with Le Gavroche. He's ready to open, obviously with restricted number of covers that they can have. But he wants to be open. And, you know, what we were talking about earlier on with Palace House as well, there are people who want to come out and they want to start dining. So that has to be the positive side of it. And we very much behind the scenes have been motivating everybody to keep really positive in this situation.
Well, from your contacts, what do you think a restaurant experience will look like when that finally comes into being again?
Well, obviously, we've seen some restaurants have been sending out surveys to ask how comfortable people feel about certain things. Other people, you know, what would make them feel uncomfortable. I certainly think restaurants are going with a social distancing could be 2/3 in terms of number of covers, for example. And I know Michelle was telling me he's got some perspex he's going to have actually in the restaurants in between people. Very nicely done, of course. But from a racing point of view, further down the track, you could actually look, let's say, the Champs Gallery restaurant at Newmarket, because Newmarket's going to have a big play in all of this, is to create that sort of social distancing. The other aspect of it as well, Nick, is behind the scenes. Because of chefs and the preparation, we're going to have longer shifts there because of social distancing in the kitchen. So all these things have been thought about, but we will get there with that to ensure that we have hospitality working well generally and working safely in terms of the guidelines, but in time, gradually coming back into racing. But I think, when I touched base here, I wanted to just highlight the scale of this. And what I'm in discussion about at the minute is talking to a few partners about the idea about what we can also do for those people working in hospitality. I'm very conscious of the freelancers in all of this as well, and how important it is, let's say, to the race courses, because, I'm just having a glass of champagne, but families coming racing, children with soft drinks, wanting to eat something, someone having a cup of tea or coffee. It's all hospitality, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. And you showcase the kind of finer end of it a lot, but that is not to say that is representative of what hospitality means across sporting venues across the land. We have, of course, as a nation, become as boozy as ever during the lockdown. So I'm guessing for the suppliers that you were mentioning, what's been taken away on one hand has been given with the other.
Oh, sorry, Nick, I missed the first bit of that. The first question. Well, the question there.
Just as you were taking a nice gulp of your Moet Rosé there, Neil, I was saying, as a nation, we've become as boozy as ever during the lockdown.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm representing some wines you might see at the racecourses here, but certainly you have to say those companies that were on the front foot here, out of those stalls, have done really well with online sales. There's no doubt about it. Not everybody though, and obviously that loss of hospitality business. But clearly, I've got some people I know, they are still so busy here. And I think it's created a new kind of business too, ongoing in terms of online engagement, but also, let's say as well, with the restaurants, they've in terms of the takeaways, just trying to do something there as well, and all the work that's gone on in terms of hospitality supporting charities too. But I've been pretty busy at my bar, Nick. Have to say. I
can see that, Neil. It looks fantastic, and you're not drinking any old plonk there either. So you can tell us whether is rosé really a connoisseur's drink? Can it really be a connoisseur's drink, or is it just a bit of fun on a sunny day?
Well, look, there's a lot of easy drinking rosés out there, but interestingly enough, I've got a good display of magnums, as you can see behind me here, and one of those is Châteauneuf from Provence, still rosé, and that is a class act. That is very elegant. That's Group 1 material. But yeah, look, come on. We've had to recommend lots of wines that people could buy under 10 quid during this COVID situation. So you've got to spread it across there where you've got nice, easy drinking rosés. I've got that lovely Châteauneuf, which you do see around at the race courses a lot.
And so if you are looking to buy a really good bottle of wine for under a tenner, what would it be?
I tell you what, right now in Waitrose, on offer is a red. We've got National Barbecue Week coming up. There's a Rhone red called Les Dauphins from the Rhone. I think it's on offer at about 8 quid. Or look out from Australia for another Shiraz, which is the Faith Shiraz from Australia. I think that is absolutely cracking value, Nick. So there's 2 good reds for you. And enjoy some fizz. There's loads of great fizz to enjoy out there right now.
Neil, thank you very much for joining us. And hopefully we will see you somewhere, someplace, at some point. But cheers.
You will. Cheers, everybody.